Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I hope that you can hear me clearly and I hope that the sound works well. My name is Patience Ogumbono and welcome to another exciting episode of Inspiration to Achieve. This is where I share with you inspiration to help you to turn your aspirations to transformation and inspire others, providing you with insights to help you achieve your life and business goals as well as thrive. And today on Inspiration to Achieve, we want to be looking backwards and projecting forwards as is the last day of 2021. Yay, we made it. Now, basically, I want us to um, I want us to bear with me just one second, dealing with some technicals here. So, I want us to look at how to basically look backwards as well as project forwards. And so, some of the things we'll be covering today will be the benefits of looking back and how to look back, and what is important to include when projecting forward, giving yourself permission to do planning and to plan your own way, and then I'll make some special announcements and offer some free resources to you at the end. How does that sound for a great itinerary for the day? So basically, some of you might not know me, might have not met me. So let me take the time to introduce myself. Like I said, my name is Patience Ogumbono, and I'm the host of Inspiration to Achieve. I'm also known as the visionary introverted woman. And I believe that introversion gives me purpose. And my passion, therefore, is to help other introverted women to leverage their strengths so that they become the leaders, successful entrepreneurs, and thrive and stand out in an extroverted world. So that's me, that's my passion, that's my mission. And I absolutely, as somebody who is visionary, as well as somebody whose strengths are mainly around strategic thinking, strategic planning. Um, I love planning. But however, for the last 2 years, I've had a change in perspective. Yeah. And so that's what I want to share with you today about, and that's why I'm starting with looking back. So if you're joining me, feel free to say hi. It's the last day, and I know a lot of you are thinking, a lot of you are doing a lot of preparations for maybe a New Year's party. And some people are already in New Year, actually, I would say. So let me do a quick check so that I know that nobody is missing the information that is being shared, and then we can carry on. So just doing a very quick check right now. Yeah, great. Okay, I can see myself and I'm happy. So yes. So let's dive quickly in so that I can use your time wisely. Hi Achenya, thanks for joining us on Facebook. So let's dive in very quickly and talk about what we're going to discuss right now, and get on with it so that you can use this information as you step into 2022. I'm looking forward to tonight as well myself. So the first part of it, we're going to be talking about the benefits of looking back and how to look back. And I've got my notes right here to make sure that I give you the points that I have thought through and walked through. So for me, looking back is about reviewing, projecting forward is planning. Yeah. So reviewing is about looking back. And then, so looking back is about reviewing. And then projecting forward is planning. And the truth about it is, no plan is great without understanding your starting point. And it's nice to have a starting point where you have looked from the back. So I know that a lot of you are already fed up of people talking about goal setting, people running into 2020, a lot of posts about that's putting some kind of pressure. So the time you're spending with me here, I want you to feel easy. I want you to feel happy. And I want you to feel uplifted. I want you to go away feeling like something's changed. You've had a perspective shift. So, why do you have to go back and do a review, or why do you have to look backwards? Well, the truth about it is, you want to come full circle, isn't it? You want to see that if there's any unfinished business, that you are able to see how you can take care of that unfinished business, and that's part of the reason. Hi, Moara, thanks for joining me. and I'm glad that you are here. So basically, one of my mentors, what she says is that life challenges are tests to grow you. If you don't pass them, you get to retake the test. And that's Joyce Meyer. She's very straight talking, very raw, and I've had her with me all year this year. And it's the truth. Life's challenges are tests. These things are not sent to destroy you. There's another quote that says that, but to make you rather than break you. But if you fail the test, you get to repeat the life class. That's what she's trying to say. So if you want to look back at things in your life and say, okay, maybe I didn't do them right, and you want to take something out of it that would then help you to pass the test the next time. So basically, what you do is go through the process and the loop of you learn, you unlearn, and then you relearn. And so I do encourage the idea of looking back now. Okay. So one of the things that I hate about year end when I was working is the fact that there's always a rush to just do the year end review, the year end performance review. And sometimes it feels like it's just a tick box exercise that doesn't have a lot of thought through it. And the truth is, if you rush through something that is vital, something that is the foundation, something that will create a great starting point for the next period of your journey, what then happens is you don't have the right foundations. You don't have the right things. It's not motivating. How are you going to use, how are you going to get what is required for you to grow? How are you going to know what you need to unlearn and what you need to relearn? So for me, I think a lot of attention has to be paid to performance throughout the year, you know, and setting that up so that when you get to the end of the year, when you are looking back, you can look back in a structured way and use that information to actually then project forwards. Another quote that I really like, this one is by Soren Kierkegaard. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not very good at that. But he says we live forward and understand backwards. Now that's paraphrased. So the thing is, you can keep just going forward, but you understand backwards. So you understand backwards. And that is why reviewing what has happened through the course of the year. For me, especially, in this last 2 years, I've gone beyond just looking back at a year. I've looked back many years, because as you get older, you want to look at your life. Where would you get to the end of your life and feel like you have regrets, right? So you want to fix that. You want to work on that. And that has made me go right all the way back to what my young little girl self really wanted out of life, and whether I am the adult me is helping her, is being her hero and bringing her dreams to life. And that has meant a lot. That has made a difference to the way I see the world, the way I live my life. So here are some benefits of looking back. You gain hindsight. And hindsight is understanding of a situation or event after it has happened or developed. So, when you are living your life, it is developing and unfolding. When you get to a certain point, I like the fact that we have 12 months and we have like the 31st. So you get to a certain marker and you go, okay, how well has this thing developed? What happened? What can I see? Hindsight. So you'll be able to look back. When you look back as well, you probably will be able to see your blind spots, right? The truth about it is, another quote that I love this time is by Les Brown, very popular. It says, you can't see the picture when you are in the frame. But if you are the one painting the picture and you can't really see it, when you get to the end of painting that picture, you stand back and you have a look. Then you can really see it. You can see where the brush strokes don't work. One of my best programs on TV is Portrait Artist of the Year or the Landscape Artist of the Year. I love watching how they develop the images. And so it's very important to look back, because you might stumble on some blind spots that you've missed and kept going in the wrong trajectory. So if you have been going in the wrong direction in life, being able to look back will help you fix your compass, right? So that brings me to another advantage, which is you know yourself so that you can grow yourself. Because when you look back, you would see, okay, I wasn't capable of doing this because I didn't have this, or I need to grow in this area to get to the next level. And that is what looking back will provide for you. Now, being that I said that I work with introverts, I've got to bring in our superpowers. You get to use your introspection superpowers and the powers of processing as an introvert, because you are able to look within as well and take the time to look within, and you can find answers from there, from the person that you were. So why don't people look back? Many times is because it's a painful experience. And when you look back, you also have to own your mistakes, right? As well as your successes. Believe it or not, people have a fear of failure as a fear of success as well. And if you own your success, you have to claim it, own it, move on from it and use it, right? So you take full ownership and responsibility when you look back. People don't like it, but also it shouldn't be an exercise. Yeah. It's not an exercise that can be done quickly in many instances, especially when you get deep into it. You find you want to dig deep more. And so people don't like it. It can be uncomfortable. However, I think that it is wise to do it. So when I look back at this year, some of my highlights I would love to share with you. I mean, I had some downtime, some ill health, and I looked at myself, and I've looked and I'm still looking at what all that means for me and how I'm sitting here today, a picture of health. I can't believe it really, because there are many things that I started 2021 with that are not part of my truth and my reality right now, but also some success that is part of my reality. Yes, Moara, you're right about blind spots. Is this? Look at that. So that is my sent by Soul Excellence Publishing. I got it as a Christmas present. Is my 2021 best-selling author for the book The X Factor: The Spiritual Secrets Behind Successful Executives and Entrepreneurs. So a leadership book that I co-authored, and it fulfilled an ambition for me to work with people across the world. It really, really made a difference. It so made a difference. Yeah. So basically, I love that. Then the second one is something I did over Christmas. Believe it or not, I wrote exams over Christmas. And I have been getting a lot of success working with clients on a one-to-one basis for their disc profiling using the Maxwell method of disc. So I created courses for team dynamics and communication. And I know that this works very well looking at the whole team and the dynamics. So I did my expanded my ability by getting my disc consultant qualifications. And I'm proud of that as well. So when I look back, what kind of person was I? Somebody who tried to grow myself, to try to work with people. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, so who tried to grow myself, who tried to work with people. So one thing I said, how do you do a review that is quite effective? So here's my suggestion. I suggest you use journaling. Journaling is a great way. Get a blank piece of paper if that's what you have. Get a nice journal. I like inspirational journals. Yeah. Thank you. I like inspirational journals. So I use a journal, have a quiet space, find your best time of the day, get a nice drink, go for it, and free flow. Start from what you can remember, and you will be surprised how much more is coming through. It's very vital, it's very important. One of my mentors also talks about creating what you call your champagne list. And I've just shared with you two items that have come out of my champagne list. Your champagne list is one where you will pour a glass of champagne and celebrate yourself. So I am teetotal, I'm drinking water up to myself. Yeah, so that's one thing about reviewing and looking backwards. So, but when we look backwards, we have to live forwards, right? So here is number two. What is important to include when you are projecting forward? So one thing I want to say very quickly is, as a visionary introverted woman, I love daydreaming and I love deep thinking. And I know many introverts I work with plus many introverts around that I know, including my whole family that is mainly introverted. We love to daydream, we love deep thinking. And why not? Here's a quote I took from my own journal today, and it says, "Without leaps of imagination or dreaming, we lose the excitement of possibilities. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning." So basically, that's the first thing I'll say to you. When you're planning, there are two sides to it, which means you need to daydream about what the future could look like. Now you have hindsight. So the next thing, you're going to use that hindsight to build a future that doesn't exist yet. Scary, isn't it? But possible. So that's what it says, the excitement of possibilities. Some of my possibilities that I'm thinking of are not exciting only, they are quite scary, like I'm flying by the seat of my pants. And you might be like me as well, like, oh my God, why do I want to do this next year? But I can assure you that living requires you to take risks, requires you to grow. You get to a certain point and you can no longer stay where you are. Stay where you are is equivalent to dying. Yeah. So, hi, Kemi. Thanks for joining. So, staying where you are is equivalent to dying or regressing. Yeah. So, you have to move forward. And the truth about it, if you think about it, we've talked about looking backwards. But how many people uh, succeed in life by driving in reverse? There's no road that allows you to continuously drive in reverse. But guess what? A lot of people do this. So there's a loop in the head that continues to replay the failures. And sometimes you even dwell on the success so much. My mentor, John Maxwell, talks about the fact that when he goes to a place and somebody keeps talking about the good old days, he tries to move away very quickly because he thinks this person is not ready to grow. The good old days are all they have. And I'm not saying, oh, you have to be constantly on the treadmill of growth, but technically you are heading one way. So you might as well be growing that way and benefiting from it. So some people have a loop in the head that is all replaying the mistakes of the past, staying stuck in that place. And it's what we call, and sometimes it's about also the sunk cost of the failures, you know, and being blind to seeing that there's an opportunity cost in staying where you are and not moving forward and not doing anything about your situation. There is an opportunity cost attached to it. So, what are some of the benefits if you decide to be a planner? I'm great at planning, but of course, you have to move from planning to execution. But why not plan first? Why not plan first? Don't worry about what other people are doing. Consider what you want to do. So, when you're planning, and projecting, it allows you to close the loop, right? So you have some things that are open and you've seen the gaps. Now you plan to close it by doing something about it. Yeah. Your past gave you some feedback about who you are, about your performance, about the things you haven't done well. If you're a company, your review process is just as brilliant and needs to be just as brilliant as your projecting forwards. Yeah. So you close the loop. You use all that information to close the loop. The benefits as well is foresight, is the ability to predict what will happen in the future or what is needed in the future. That's the meaning of foresight. So you gain foresight, you know, you gain foresight because you took the time to kind of now use your information to predict, you know. There is a quote I shared with my email list that said the best way to predict the future is to create it. And you create by starting with planning, right? So that is what you want to do. What you gain from reviewing is information and knowledge. Yeah. But what you then get to do with that information through planning is transformation. I want you to write that down, and I hope it helps you to start doing your goal setting, taking control of your own life, being the driver in the seat of your life, predicting your future by creating it and knowing what is needed because you have looked back for information and knowledge. And now what you want to do is to get to use that information and knowledge to plan transformation. Yeah, because that's what you want. Transformation is the growth, transformation is the progress, transformation is the success. Then, while you have done that, and you now have your plans in place. So reviewing allows you to learn, right? So you're learning about what didn't work, what worked. Now you need a plan to unlearn and to relearn. That's what will bring the transformation in the future. You unlearn the things that didn't serve you, the habits that are holding you back, the self-sabotaging behaviors, yeah? And then you move on to relearn, yeah? So you plug the gaps and you create new things from a place of knowledge and feeling like you are gaining empowerment from that knowledge. So I suggest that when you are deciding to do your planning, what are some of the things that you can do? You use templates. I love using templates for planning because as a strategic thinker, it gives you that structure and it helps you to kind of list out the things that you don't want to miss out of your plan. So basically, I recommend that you have templates. You get templates. You find tools that will do analysis for you. You find models that you can compare what you're doing against. But then again, you want to be able to build in stretch as a result of all of these. How do you do that? And once you've done that, you also want to journal. Like I said, daydreaming is part of the process. And if you want to daydream, you won't do it on a spreadsheet, you do it in your journal. So your journal is always with you and you can use it. Your journal might not be there. You can have a piece of paper. If you have a template, you might not want to use your journal in that instance. So you can put everything in a template. A great template would be useful to make that difference. And the whole purpose of looking back and projecting forwards, here is the overall advantage of it, is you get to co-create. You get to co-create. They say that we are co-creators with God. And some of you believe in the universe, so maybe that's the way you will interpret it, that you're a co-creator with the universe. I am a person of faith, and so I say I co-create with God. And for me to be able to co-create, I need to have my own ideas that I bring to the table. Because guess what? There's a belief that everything and your destiny is already set and things like that. But you have the right to rewrite things, to plan things out, to do things. And therefore, you want to live intentionally as well. But one of the challenges is, you have to admit that your reality is up to you, that your reality is what you created up to this point, and the new reality is what you are going to create, and that you have the power to do it. You're not as weak as you think, and you need to take ownership. Sometimes scary is an understatement when it comes to taking ownership and responsibility, because I always say to people, I live in my discomfort zone these days, not in my comfort zone. And each time I'm trying to claw my comfort zone back and it's not working. So you might find yourself in that situation. And the truth is, not knowing and saying I don't know what to do is your comfort zone. Because if one quote again that I want to share with you is, if you want to do something, you will find a way. If you don't want to do it, you will find an excuse. And feeling helpless can be an excuse. Because if you want help, you can go look for help. You can take the leap to invest, to bet on yourself, to do so many things to bring yourself out of a situation. So that is why you need to be able to look at that and address it. Right? So make sure you have tools. So the last bit that I want to share before I finish off and let you go and have fun, and I hope you can reflect on this and use it, is giving yourself permission to do the planning and planning it your way. Yeah. Because again, like um, some of you might feel like you're under pressure on this 31st of December and you are really, really feeling the pinch of it. You're really, really struggling. You have no idea what next year would look like. And now everybody is jumping into 2022. They are sharing all their plans. I haven't shared mine. And I'll tell you why when we get to the end. And they are sharing all the good things and you are thinking, why am I left out? And so you need to first of all give yourself permission to feel how you're feeling. Yeah. And not to think that you need anybody's permission. So there is a quote that says, if you want to achieve greatness, stop asking for permission. So because there are things that you will want to decide to do, and the reason why you're not planning it is because they might be so big, and nobody else is thinking about it. So you're thinking maybe it won't work because I'm just an oddball here thinking about it, you know. So you need to give yourself permission to do the planning and to do it your own way. And the truth about it is, what I realized along the way, even this year and last year, is that asking for permission is kind of something that we do either consciously or unconsciously. Um, when you're stuck, it's like you don't want to move forward because you need permission for people to like you don't want to offend people, you don't want to be different, you want to seek and wait for permission to break free from the status quo, to challenge yourself. You also want permission for people to say, oh, it's okay for you to be yourself, that kind of thing. And where you don't get that, you are in a stuck circle. Now you want to change that for 2020, don't you? Really? You want to get along and give yourself the permission that you need. Because if you gave yourself permission, what limits will you take out of your life? Take a minute and just pause and think about that. What limits will you take off your life? Even for myself, as I say this now, I think about how, being somebody who has worked on my visibility a lot, I've had to give myself a lot of permission. Permission not to shout when I don't want to, permission to shout from the rooftop when I need to, permission to define what visibility is and what success I can track from that visibility, things like that. So, consciously or unconsciously, we're seeking permission. But you have to take charge and consciously give yourself permission because you want to take the limits off. So, what if you don't? So, here are some questions that you can use to ask yourself. Something I've done myself. So, what if you don't have to come up with a plan by midnight today? Woohoo! Does that free you to think more widely and to feel that you've got time? You've not lost all the time. So what if your calendar month starts in February rather than December, January, or even March, or even April? Companies have what you call financial uh, you know years, isn't it? And that can start April, that can start anytime. What if yours did the same thing, whether on a personal level or on a business level? You don't have to go with the flow. So for example, one of the things I did this year, my husband turned 50 in November, but I said, it's not the birthday, it's celebration of a person. And I don't care whether it's next year, I will do a 50th year celebration. And I had the celebrations 2 weeks ago. Now, some people didn't know that that's like over a month ago, but who cares? I did it. I did it when it was convenient and it was fun. And the whole objective was restated to like just a birthday, but celebration of life, helping someone understand their value and their importance in our lives and in their friends' lives, reminiscing about the past. And it didn't matter. That needed to be done as far as I was concerned, because when you spent half a decade, when you spent 50 years on earth, you want to look at that and say, what life have I lived? And really, when nobody celebrates, you can celebrate yourself. Guess what? Another thing is, sometimes we live in this bubble and don't even think. I remember sitting down when we were putting up things around the Christmas tree, and my husband said, Jesus was actually born in October, as according to some historians. And I thought, yeah, and we celebrate it in December and nobody's raising an eyelid. Yeah. So give yourself, what will happen if you gave yourself permission not to really be honed in with all these time frames as well? Yeah. Uh, what if you don't have to have 12 months all planned out, for example? Is that okay? Can you plan a month at a time? Whatever you do, just plan, just review, but plan a month at a time. You don't know what February holds, plan January. Get on with it and review January instead. Find your own style. What if this is the big one for you? What if you don't have to be realistic about what is achievable and set your own moonshot goals? So for me this year, I chose not to be very realistic with many things that I had to do. And I say had to do because I really struggled in many ways, being ill, and some other things. in life, family challenges and things. But I just decided I was going to, based on what I learned from 2020, to set moonshot goals and to head off working to achieve those moonshot goals. So, what about if that is you? And what about if you did it that way? You set goals that you don't know how you're going to achieve it, and it doesn't matter. You just go ahead and do it. So, I suggest that if you're going to give yourself permission, here's the one ingredient you need: courage. Brave. You need to be a lion heart. You need to be brave. You need to tap yourself again. I'm brave, brave heart, lion heart, and I'm going to be brave and step away from the norms, step away from the status quo, and really do things my way. So you give yourself permission. So that's really some of the things I wanted to share with you about looking back as well as projecting forwards. And, I promised you that I would give some announcements at the end as well. So, and I hope that you found this very useful. And I hope that you can use this information to be able to make a difference to how you step in. You finish strong today, whatever today is for you, whether this is the end of 12 months or it will be January, and you step into the first with a vision of yourself feeling empowered, feeling ready to take on life, because life has really been tough. It has been tough. So give yourself a pat on the back, celebrate and be grateful for being here as well, because I think that is important. Yeah. Thank you, Moara. So here are some of the things I want to share with you, a big announcement. So inspiration to achieve from tomorrow is no longer going to be inspiration to achieve. Yeah. So it's now going to be called the Visionary Introverted Woman Show. Yeah. So that is what I'm going to rename Inspiration to Achieve, and it's going to be called the Visionary Introverted Woman Show. And within this, then I would be able to build out a podcast as well. So look out for that in 2020. It's been a long time coming, and I'm really excited to step into this new persona, this new brand voice, and to be able to start speaking through it to people that will connect and resonate with me. So moving on from calling it Inspiration to Achieve, it will now be called the Visionary Introverted Woman Show. Then, or the Visionary Introverted Woman Talk Show. Yeah. So the next thing is, if all this I have said is something you want to use and benefit from, thanks, Moara, and happy wishing you a great 2020 as well. Thank you so much. So basically, I am running a workshop in February called Closing the Gap. So let's get you from where you are now to where you want to. So you might have done all the reviewing and planning, and you're thinking, I want to close the gap. So I would have a 1-day, full day paid workshop in February that I will help you to be able to close this gap that you want to close. And we'll work together hands-on on a day that will work perfectly for helping you achieve. So that will be happening in February. If you want to know more about it, you can DM me or email me. You can DM me or you email me on connect@patiencesugumbana.com, and make sure that you title it Closing the Gap Workshop. You want to be kept in the loop. You want to be informed. I'll be bringing out information more about it next month anyway. So finally, I do have a checklist, that I created, and I promised you that it will be a gift that I will give to you. So you'll have a link as well in the comments that you can go check out the list. So it's simple, and I've just created a checklist for you that talks about what you need to do for review and what you need to do for planning. Just 2 simple checklists. I like a checklist because you can tick it off, but you can also use it as a focused document to focus. And what I plan to do in January is that within my Introverted Female Entrepreneur group on Facebook, we will have a community connection chat, and we will use this checklist. We'll talk about this checklist. So as you're watching this, I hope that you're doing your review and everything using it, and we'll talk about it and talk about what's coming up, what's coming out. So if you also feel like this is a group that you want to join in, feel free to check on Facebook. And again, the comments will have something for you. Then also, if you get to see this and you think I might miss it if I don't save it, well, You can subscribe to my YouTube channel because we will upload this onto YouTube for you to be able to watch it. And again, the link will be in the comments for you to subscribe. That way, you know, you don't miss anything. You don't miss the Visionary Introverted Women show when it comes up, and all the things that I'll be talking about, and the fantastic guests that I already have in mind to bring on board to talk to you. Quick recap and key actions. Look back using your journal. Project ahead using templates and tools and your journal if you want. Give yourself permission to review, to plan, and to thrive in your own way. Do things your own way. 2020. There are links in the comments that will help you to get information. Don't forget to go on and also get the end of year checklist that I created for you. And then contact me, DM me if there's anything that you want to talk about. I'm here to help. I'm here to support. I'm here to help you achieve. Yeah. So one of my key mottos, and I want to share and live with you, is this: impossible is an opinion. Feel free to disagree and carve out your own pathway to success. So nothing is impossible if you choose to make it, if you choose to say it is possible for yourself. So that is what I'm trying to encourage you to get into 2020. Apply faith, apply action, apply, proactivity, apply intentionality. I want to wish you great success, health, wealth, and happiness. And I want to wish you very, very best for 2020, and for all of us as well, that when we enter into this year that is just as significant as 2020 to 2020 and 2021, we will see progress from reviewing all the things that have happened to us and how we'll take this forward to be bigger, better, and create a much better world for ourselves. Take care and God bless.